So my name is Carlos Walker, and this is Forward Progress. And today we have Mr. Andre Norman with me. So, Mr. Andre, if you will, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
As introduced, my name is Andre Norman. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I am the founder of Second Chance University. It is a program designed to help men and women coming out of incarceration and bad situations transition to a better life by providing information, access, and mentorship.
Okay, so here at Forward Progress, what we actually do is kind of like a butterfly moment. Imagine yourself being the butterfly now, but what we do, we share the backstory of the caterpillar. So we're gonna first start off as early as you would like and share what your background was before prison. You can go as early as your youth, who you were.
Okay. Again, my mom married a high school sweetheart. She had two kids. Her husband went to prison for robbing banks, and she meets my dad, local hustler, four more kids, six kids, mom and dad. Life is cool, except for my dad had a habit of beating my mom. So I went through the domestic violence stages early. One, two, three, four, five, six. As long as I can remember, we lived through that. And then at some point, my mom gets tired and she figures a way to get him out of the house because she's tired of the treatment. So now you got a single mom, six kids. And we move around. It's kind of tough. By the third grade, we ended up in a new neighborhood and they found out I was illiterate. So they put me in the thing they call the dummy class, the class at the end of the hall. And it was just like, okay, my dad can't read, I can't read, so it's not a far pitch. Luckily, a teacher pulled me out of that class, Miss Oliver, and she taught me how to read and write. She said, "You're not a dummy, you just learn differently. And I'm going to teach you your learning style." And she did. By middle school, I'm up to speed with the other kids, but I'm poor. Kids are making fun of me for wearing dirty clothes, free lunch, not having all the cool stuff. So I started hustling with my buddy Tyrone after school to make some money so I can be accepted by buying and having the nice stuff. By the time I got to high school, I was just gone. I'm saying I started out hustling just to buy clothes and lunch. By the time I got to middle school, through middle school to high school, I'm just out there now. It's like your reasoning for starting doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like some people start smoking crack because they hang with their friend, or they start smoking weed, hanging with a buddy. Next you know they're sniffing oxy. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm just having a drink just to fit in. Then 6 months later, you're a full-flown addict. My why started was I just needed a couple of dollars. It ended up me in the state penitentiary. So my 18-year-old Andre and my 12-year-old Andre morphed. And when I got to the penitentiary, I looked back, it was like a reunion of all my friends from the dummy class, all my friends from the principal's office, all my friends who got suspended, all my friends from juvenile probation, all my friends who got kicked off the football basketball team, all my friends who quit band, all my friends who used to hang out at the movies chasing girls. I mean, it was just all of us. It was just a giant reunion of everybody who quit on life early.
Quick question. Uh, when you went to prison, what was your sentence then?
My original sentence was 7 to 10 years armed robbery, 9 to 10 years armed assault with a shotgun, 9 to 10 years armed assault with a shotgun, 10 years robbery, 10 years kidnapping, 15 to 20 years armed carjacking, 15 to 20 years armed home evasion, 5 years felon in possession of a firearm with the feds. And that was
How
a
much
from and
time?
after.
How much time did they give you?
It was my controlling sentence was a 15 and 20, but it added up to 95 years.
All right. So
They
I
ran them
asked.
together.
Okay, so they ran them together and basically gave you the 15 or the 90.
15 and 20 with 5 from and after suspended.
Okay. So you originally get locked up, or you don't went to trial, got your time. What is your mind like at that age?
When I got to the prison, I was scared. I mean, I know there's a lot of super tough guys watching this show who came in with an S on their chest and they had Batman capes on. I wasn't that guy. I'm 18, never been in the penitentiary. I was on the county jail for a minute. I came in, I was nervous, scared, shook. I just didn't know what the hell was happening. I didn't come from a big crime family. I wasn't part of a gang. Didn't have a bunch of homies. When I was in the street, it was just me going out to the suburbs robbing white drug dealers. That was
Mm.
my thing. So I wasn't part of I'm from the neighborhood, but I never hung out in the neighborhood. I wasn't on the corner posted up drinking with everybody. Yo, that big drink. My little brother was out there, but I wasn't. So when I got to the penitentiary, and I'm coming from the suburbs, everybody else is coming from the city. So
Mm.
whatever major city you're in, Houston, Dallas, LA, New York City, I'm coming, all my cases are from the suburbs. Even though I'm from the city, I hustled in the suburb. I wasn't tough enough to hustle in the city. So I ain't gonna front. I mean, them dudes was out there since they were 8. They were serious. I was out in the suburbs where it was easy money, no stress, and it was all good. But they gave you more time messing with them folks. But when I got there, I was scared. And the homies came to me. It was like, yo, because they said, where you from? First question, where you from? I said, I'm from Boston. They said, what section? I said, I'm from Mattapan. They said, you with those guys. And that was it. You come in, where you from? You in Texas? Where you from? I'm from Houston. You with them. I'm from Dallas. You with them. I'm from San Antonio. With them. Austin. You with them. It's really that basic. You get a penitentiary in California. I'm from LA. I'm from Frisco. I'm from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the Bay. Wherever you with them. It's how it works. It's not a hard concept. You in Florida, you from Orlando, you from Miami, you from Pensacola, you with them. That's how that works. So I got off the bus, they said, you with them. Luckily for me, them that I was with were the dudes who ran the prison. It had nothing to do with me. I want to be clear. I got off the bus, they said, where you from? I said, I'm here. They said, you with them. And them happened to be the people who ran the prison. The toughest gang, the biggest gang, whatever you want to call it, those guys was the them for me. If I'd have been from 2 blocks away, it'd been something different. But I happen to be from the same neighborhood as the OG for the prison.
So the psychological standpoint of your situation, scared.
Oh, yeah, sure. 100%.
Time, you got a bunch of time.
Time don't count. You don't even think about the time. I'm thinking about survival. I'm not the time. We've been locked up since we were kids. So the time didn't even register. I don't know what that means. 7 to 10, 9 to 10, 9. I don't know what that shit means. That's the last thing on my mind is the actual time. I'm in this building looking around like I'm lost.
In a zoo. Look, lions, tigers, bears everywhere.
Lions, tigers, and bears.
All right. So you're in there, you with them.
I'm with them.
You with them. And then
everybody who goes to the penitentiary ends up with them. Now I know who your them is gonna be, but you're gonna be with them.
But them that you're with, they run the joint.
Yes.
Share a little bit about this. How does this take place? What do you see? How is that?
In the 80s, a couple guys from my neighborhood caught life sentences. They went to prison, and they were in the streets for a long time. My OG is named Dominic. His father was in the street. His grandfather's. He came from a hustling family.
They got
generational hustlers, and they were the guys we looked up to because they had the name. They had the big name in the neighborhood, so everybody know them. He was our neighborhood hero. So when he went to jail, he had put together the team or the car they call it now of the neighborhood, and they had a bunch of dudes. It was like 20 of them. They all had life sentences, and they all young. And they came in. They're like, "Yo, listen, forget these old dudes. We ain't going for nothing." So they banded together a bunch of young lifers, natural lifers, and said, "This is how we're gonna do it." So by the time I got there, they had 6-7 years in of being psychopaths, and they had established themselves as a team to be reckoned with. And they were taking no stories, no shorts. They're like, "We ain't going home, but we can send you home." That was their attitude. We can send you home today in the box, and none of us lose or add nothing to our situation. So when I got there, they had like 7 or 8 years of that. And they had a team that you couldn't mess. What are you going to do to 20 dudes doing natural life sentence? Nothing. They were already killers, and they had already been technically killed off by the state. And they had that mindset of, we're going to dominate because we're going to be here. So when I pull up, they're like, "Come on, you with us." And I didn't understand who they were initially. I just knew I was from their neighborhood. So I didn't know what running the prison meant. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand the hierarchy in a systematic way prisons were governed. I was just happy to have someone to hang out with.
So you are navigating. Now you done probably got a few years under your belt. I'm going to give you a few years. What did you find out about them? About running the prison?
I would say them, I found out about them probably like week 3 or week 4. Yeah, no, dude, I'm in Supermax. Week 3 or week 4, there was a situation where I mishandled the situation. You know what I'm saying? Something happened, and one of the homies got disrespected, or so he felt. He goes to the big homie. He's like, "Yo, these dudes were disrespectful." So big homie goes to the other team, the other car they call it, and says, "Yo, send these 2 guys outside. They got to get punished for disrespecting their team. They're going to get hands put on them." And when their OG went to them, it's like, yo, we got a problem with these dudes. This is them dudes too. Their response was, we weren't disrespectful. Andre was in a conversation. How can it be disrespectful if one of yours is in a conversation? So Dom came back to me. He said, yo, was you in the conversation when these dudes said X, Y, Z? And it was a yes. They blew it out of proportion because they were trying to say themselves. I was there for part of it. I'm like, yeah. So long story short, they had to withdraw the threat.
Mm.
When you threaten somebody and you have to take it back, then we look bad.
Yes.
So now we going out to we have a meeting on the yard to discuss my violation or my miscretion that created a situation where we had to stand down and look bad. That's not a good thing. Yo, we gonna do X. Oh, your dude's a violation. So we go out to the yard. Way at the end of the yard behind the handball court where they kill people. We down there. And I got 20 dudes sitting in front of me, standing in front of me, talking about what my punishment should be for my violation.
You on the gun line.
I'm like, they talking about doing this. I'm listening. Everybody got their opinion, and it's all about me. I'm like, hold up. I'm not going to lie. I've said this before. My first thought was to take off running. I'm looking at these 20 murderers, and they're talking about what should happen to me. And listen, if you got 6 weeks in the penitentiary and you sitting on the yard with 20 straight murderers, I don't know about you, but I thought about running.
Look, hey, anybody with good sense would think about running, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, but I looked up, there was a 40-foot wall. I was like, where am I going to run to? I can run to the other end of the yard, but it ain't going to do no good. So I just stood there. I was like, I'm just going to stand there. And I stood in, and when they finished, OG came over. He said, this time we're going to give you a pass. But next time you don't get a pass, you know we handle our own. Then we all just walked off the yard together. And I kid you not, from that day to the day I walked out, I never made another mistake. That was the worst and the best thing that could have ever happened to me because it made me realize, A, who I'm around, and B, where I'm at. So many people come to prison and they don't have that type of like, oh my God, I could die right now. I'm like, I could die right now. It's not even gonna be a nice death. This ain't no COVID go to sleep shit. This is gonna be really bad. And I stood in, but I was like, this is serious. And the dudes that I'm hanging with are serious. And there's no game in this. And I just got this super crystal clear vision of where I was and what was at stake. And that every conversation could lead to your death. Every conversation or misunderstanding could get you hurt or get somebody killed. When I look back at the conversation, it was a nothing conversation, but it could have got me killed. I didn't respect it based on I'm in a maximum security penitentiary. It's just a conversation. In my mind, I blew it off, which almost got me blew out the window. Mm-hmm. So from that moment on, I was so locked in on every conversation, every gesture, every handshake, every head nod, every anything, because that came so innocently and so simply. But now I'm on the yard looking like this is going to be it. Is this it? I got 6 weeks in the prison and I'm about to die.
This ain't even funny. But it's the seriousness. I just told my brother recently that the respect level in prison and out here is two different types of respect. That to me, lack of respect, most people out here don't even know what respect is.
There's no consequence.
None at all. In there, you learn to give people space. You're going to give them at least 2 to 3 feet of just space. Out here, space doesn't exist. They can get right there in front of you. And for a person to have to, you can never unlearn what you know. So out here, a lot of people that come back out from prison out here realize that I have a respect level. They don't. And a lot of people can't transition or don't want to transition, not realizing that these people out here are lost. But I learned that just from having a conversation with my brother the other day.
My thing was, when I walked off that yard, my understanding was, get it right or die.
Get it right or die.
It snapped me into reality I'd have never got to on my own that fast. And I spent the next 14 years under any conversation, any transgression, any error in judgment or movement could get me killed. And I've seen people killed. I've known people to be died. I've been in prison 14 years, all max and super maxes. So I've seen enough people leave there in boxes to know that it's real. So when I was home probably for like a year and a half, and so I don't remember where I was this second, but I was somewhere and I made a mistake. I did something that was a transgression. I was like, that was complete. You blew that one, Drake. And when it happened, my mind registered, they're coming to get you. Then I realized about 10 seconds later, I'm not in prison no more. There's nobody coming. I was home for almost 2 years, still moving on, get it right or die, and didn't even realize it. I never shut that off because 14 years, it became natural. Every word, every interaction is measured. So when I came home, I'm out here just moving and grooving, doing my thing. That I did something that would have been technically a prison violation or out of order or cause a situation. And my mind went to they're coming. I was like, I'm free. Ain't nobody out here looking. Ain't no mob around the corner. Ain't no prison council. Wasn't no code violet. I'm like, that's prison code. I'm in the street. It was a transgression, but you don't die for that. Like you said, you don't die for that in the street. It's just a oops. There's no oopses in prison.
No.
But then I had to say, how many other things was I carrying in my brain from prison? I had to go to counseling.
Look, so we're gonna go back to the prison environment. So you're in here and your mind state is once again, you had to adapt to prison life. That is hard living depending on who you're talking to and with the people that you remember, you're with them.
I'm with them.
Being with them, this is how this works. Whatever happens with them, you're involved.
1,000%.
Fighting, stabbing, anything goes down, you got to get to it.
Either that or you better be going home that afternoon and never coming back.
So when does your transition happen? Because your transition didn't happen out here. For the first 6 years, I was all in. I was committed. I was focused. I was uber loyal to a fault. There was no blink. And I'm running with these dudes. I'm running with them. So I'm one of them now. It went from 20 to 21. I'm one of them. And I was probably 8 months in the state prison. 6 months got me to Supermax. Then I went from Supermax to Supermax lockdown. They kicked me. They actually transferred me out of the state. They called the federal government, did a prisoner swap. They sent me from the state of Massachusetts to the feds. I did 2.5 years in the feds. I went to the feds. My OG went to the feds. A bunch of us got shipped out of the state because we were just over the top. They said, take that whole mob, and they shipped us all to the feds. So I went to Lewisburg first, then El Reno, then Terre Haute. Then I went to all over the federal penitentiary. I was about to say, this is all federal penitentiary. There's no FCIs.
Oh, no. El Reno is technically an FCI.
But it ran like a pen.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? When we pull up in El Reno, dude told me, he said, you in God's country now, boy. I was like, all right. I mean, I'm listen, where I'm from, we fight the COs. I took that one. I'm like, you know something, sir? I think I might be in God's country. I'm going to agree with you. A big redneck cowboy dude was like, you in God's country. Because he looking at my paper. I sound like I'm from back east. He said, you in God's country. I'm like, oh, this ain't that type. This ain't Northeast. No. See, up north where I'm from, if you're walking down a hallway and you say something disrespectful to the guard, oh, you bitch ass mom, wop. At count time, once your door gonna open, they're gonna say, yo, Carlos, they need you a new man. But you better say it's open cell 8, let Andre out. Then me and you walk down a new man, and the dude that you cussed out in the hallway is down in Newman with his shirt off, his radio off, ready to fight.
Oh, so y'all
you gonna shoot a fair one. You're gonna shoot a fade or whatever they call it, squabble out in LA. You gonna shoot a fair one. If you refuse to fight, then we gonna get rid of you. By the same token, we walking in the hallway, God disrespects you. I go to the hallway sergeant, yo, man, your man out of order. They're gonna call me and you down to Newman. They're gonna say, hey, Officer Riley, go down to Newman. They're gonna say, back it up. Yeah, I don't want to fight him. Back it up. Take your stuff off. Shoot it. You talked it, now walk it. And if he refuses to fight, he's going in the tower or outside in the car duty. He won't be inside the facility. That was the level of respect we had between us and them in Massachusetts. It was a routine thing that if you and the CO had a disagreement, you used to go in the mop closet. He'd take his radio off, throw it on the desk, call the dude next door. Y'all go in the mop closet and handle your business. So you couldn't just talk jazzy to the COs in Massachusetts in the 80s. They weren't going for it. They'll shoot a favor with you in 0.2 seconds because they understood they're outnumbered and it's all about respect. Mm-hmm. So they had to earn their respect the same way we had to earn ours. You just couldn't just like now, I see people cussing the COs out just because they bored.
Yes.
Not in Massachusetts. You could do it, but you'd have to back it up.
But in God's country.
Oh, no. I ain't get them no problem. I ain't gonna cry. Listen. I ain't playing with God's country people. I let them have. He didn't say nothing out of order. He didn't call me out my name. He said, "You in God's country now." I'm like, all right. I had no reply. Which way am I going? Which way is the cell block?
Because this look, that don't even sound right. You in God's country.
I ain't never been to Oklahoma. Dude, if you ain't never been to Oklahoma, you don't want to go. It wasn't nothing bad, but they just gave you that vibe like, let it go.
You might die here.
Dude.
So
he just listen. I've never been out west. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from the Northeast. This is the first time I've been anywhere past New York. Anyway, I went to New York as a kid to the Bronx Zoo. That was the furthest I've been outside of my city. Now you got me out in Oklahoma. I ain't know where Oklahoma was. Didn't know it existed.
What's so this? It's like China.
That's out there somewhere. So when you meet people who got different accents and different vibes, and they got cowboy hats. I'm pleased with cowboy hats. So we in prison. What are you doing? This is what they're doing. Cowboy boots and cowboy hats and big belts. I'm like, are you a CO? What's going on? But you just learn to adjust. But El Reno, went through Lewisburg, went through Terre Haute, went through all them wonderful spots. Atlanta USP, went through all of them. After 2.5 years, the feds kicked me out and sent me back. I was getting in too much trouble. So I go back to Massachusetts. I'm still on wild man status. I catch a couple more cases, you know what I'm saying? And I end up in solitary confinement for 2.5 years. And I had another 10 years added to my sentence. But I'm winning. I got status. People know my name. I'm ringing bells. This is the shit. I'm on fire. My mom came to see me. She said, "Boy, how'd you get in jail? I said, "Mom, I'm working hard. This ain't easy." She's like, "What are you talking about? Why don't you go to school?" She gave me all the mom stuff. I'm like, "Mom, my dad was here. My stepdad was here. You should be happy. I outrank them both. I got more status than both of them." She was like, "This ain't what I wanted for you. Like, this is all I ever saw." But in the end, I go back to my cell thinking, Mom don't get it. But it was probably like a year and a half later, I had this epiphany when I realized I become the king of nowhere. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm the king of nowhere. So everybody watching this thing want to hear a wild prison story. Did you really care? Do you care that in 1988, I was in a prison someplace calling myself the king? No, you on your phone, you doing this. You scrolling, swiping through. Yeah, it's just a story to you. You can care less. There's somebody right now in El Reno. There's somebody right now in Terre Haute and Coleman, you know what I'm saying, in Lewisburg, and Florence ADX. I'm the king. I would say of what? Of
nothing.
I was the king of nowhere. And this is the thing that I realized post. Those folks can kill you anytime. They control you. I was in solitary. I was in 10 block in Massachusetts. It's a secure lockup. 3 days, I pissed one of the COs off. And for 3 days, they didn't feed me.
Nothing.
It's not like I had a solid steel door. And they closed the solid steel door, and that was a wrap.
They didn't give you nothing.
Nothing. 3 days.
Did they give you some water? You could have got water out the sink.
Water out the sink. Nothing. 3 days. You couldn't slide nothing to me. Nothing.
An involuntary fast.
Nothing. No, it was a wake-up call. You listen, you can talk crazy, but just remember, they hold the food.
They hold everything.
Hey, and I'm used to. I used to be at night. They had COs to come around in solitary. They would open the steel door. We had a solid steel door and a set of bars. So the bars were inside, and there's a solid steel door closed on top. They would crack the solid steel door, spray mace in your cell or tear gas, at like 1 a.m. and watch you choke. And that was fun for them.
That's crazy.
But that's the
Now,
life. No, that's the
I'm gonna
life.
say this. I guess we are people. I didn't never go to the shoe, but I guess we are kind of lucky. They don't do what I know some people done to them. Throw piss.
Oh, no. So hold on. If you playing with piss and shit, I'm not even in the conversation. I don't.
No,
I don't.
you
I
know
don't even,
that
I know
we know
people
it
who do that.
happens.
I've known people to do that.
Man,
I ain't playing with no human waste.
no, but I'm just saying. Imagine the CO, kind of like they cracked that joint and
Yeah.
sprayed Mason there. Imagine if one of them had did the same, filled it up with piss and opened the slot and threw it on you. This would have been crazy.
No. Yeah. I mean, if they need to throw it on people, throw it on them. I don't play. Listen, if I got a beef with you, I'm gonna wait till I get at you. I'm not throwing piss and shit at you. I would tell you, listen, man, my seg time's up in about 6 months. I'll see you in the hallway.
What's that?
And this goes back to you got to stand on it. So when I get out, I can go to the hallway and be like, yo, man, go get Carlos, man. Tell him I need to see him. So in Massachusetts, the system at our max was like, yo, you can't be in here on no goofy stuff, COs or us. So if I got out of seg, I could go
and get that foul.
I can shoot word out to the yard, like, yo, see, this dude's down here disrespectful, man. And then you go, then the OG will go to the LT, like, yo, man, your man, he out of order. He down there you can't disrespect my guy just because he's in the cell. He's still one of us. So this is the baseline. You don't know who sprayed the mace at 2 a.m. because they do that and move. But if they come to your side, Massachusetts, when I was there, it wasn't just torture. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's been people tortured, so I'm not absolving everybody. But when I was in 10 block, it was 60 of us, and we were one team. White, black, Spanish, Asian.
Okay.
When I first got to 10 block, I came in 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They threw me in my cell. Dude walks off. I said, yo, I ain't got a bedroll. I bring it back. 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock, shift change. He gone. 11:15, they come to make the rounds. I'm like, it's wintertime in Boston. I'm like, yo, I ain't got no bedroll. Dude was like, I don't give a fuck. That's not my job. The day shift does that. He walks off. There's a dude down the hall named Dave, white dude. He starts banging. He bangs. The other white dude stopped banging. Now you got like 8 cells banging. When the brothers hit, they just hit banging. They don't know who. Then we bang the whole tier.
Everybody go to banging.
We got 4 tiers: upper left, upper right, lower left. Our tier is banging. Then the tier across from us hears us banging, so they stop banging. Then you got 30 cells upstairs banging, really 29 because I'm just sitting there confused. Then downstairs hears upstairs, they stop banging. You have the entire block banging and screaming, going crazy. So now the LT comes from the block, he runs down. Well, what's the problem? I don't know. See them. What's the problem? Go upstairs. They finally get to our tier. Yo, what's the problem? Dave yells out, get the guy in 37 the bedroll. He runs down. He gets a bedroll. He comes back. He gives it to me.
That's unity.
Then our tier stops banging. When the tier across hears us stop banging, they stop banging. Downstairs here, upstairs, it went dead silent. It was one beat, one team. That's it. Wasn't no white, black, left, right. It was us, them. By the same token, let somebody, as we didn't play that throw shit stuff. If you came on a lower tier, CO, and somebody spit on you or throw shit on you or did something crazy,
they get handled.
The CO, no. The CO would leave. They get the move team, and they would come back inside of cell 1 and beat every ass from cell 1 to cell 60. They would leave, they would come back, they'd go to cell 1, rush them, cell 2, rush them, cell 3, and they do the whole block.
They was in unity too.
That everybody got it. And you would find out after what happened. The same way they found out why we were banging, we found out that dude down in cell 16 threw shit on the CO. And then what would happen is, if it wasn't justified, then internal shit would happen. But it wasn't no divide. It's not even about the drama. It's not even about the beatings. It's just that time in the 80s was just a different type of time to be locked up.
So back to the question. To you said your epiphany kicked in about what your mother said. Because I want to know really when this change came about within you.
I was 6 years in. I'm in solitary, and I'm like, yo, I had 2 years in solitary. I was just about to get out. Then there's a program, like a step down program, that you have to sign up for. It's like a release valve. If you're like 5 years or 6 years or whatever in solitary, and they wanted to let you out early, they send you to this transitional program. It was like kind of intensive, getting your face. You have to survive that for like 6 to 8 months. Then they cut the rest of your time and let you out. I got like 2 months to get out, so I definitely ain't trying to go no transitional program. They had me shackle up. They called me and said, LT wants to see you. It's like, Captain Brony. I get cuffed up. I go down. I said, yo, what's up? He said, yo, you going to the transition program? So I didn't sign up for that. He said, you going? I said, I didn't sign up. That's a requested program. I'm not requesting. I get out in 2 months. That's a 6-month program. Why would I want to go to that? He said, I got the call. You're going to the program. He said, the van's out back right now. You're going. He said, it is what it is. All this. I said, man, let me go upstairs and pack my stuff. He said, no. He said, I'm not letting you out them shackles. It's a bad move. He said, you're going out the door. You get in that van. You're going to the transition program. I said, dude, I ain't got. He said, it's not about anything other than you're getting in that van. This is clear. You're getting in that van, some form of fashion, and it's going to stop at the transitional program. They will take you out in some form of fashion. That's
Whole time, no matter what you going.
I'm already I'm handcuffed and shackled, waist chains. So it's not like you're going. Whether you walk, we carry you, we drag you, you going. He didn't say like they said, but he let him know you're getting in that van. I got a call from headquarters, you're getting in the van. I said, yo, LT, let me go upstairs and pack my shit. He says, man, listen. I said, you got my word. I'm gonna come out to sell. I'm not gonna. I said, you got my word. He said, I got this. This is 80s Massachusetts. I'm wild. I didn't tore up enough cells in a little bit. I didn't have riots on airplanes and the rest. But I looked him in the face. I said, dude, you got my word. I'm going to pack up and come back out. He said, I got your word. I said, yeah. He lets him go upstairs. They take the shackles off. I pack all my stuff up, give away what I can't take. And I cuff back up. I get in the van. I go to the program. They would never do that in 2025. Ever. But I had a reputation for being honest, being crazy, but that was the difference when I was in jail. Your word meant something. Mm-hmm. I'm saying on both sides. We weren't best friends. We weren't buddies. We didn't play poker, but I could look him in the face. He's like, this is an honorable person. If I give you my word, you can stand on it. We've been battling forever, but even amongst our battles, somebody can look in your face and had respect. So I get in the van, I go to the program, and I'm there for 6 months. And during that time, is when I had my epiphany that like, yo, I'm the king of nothing. I'm here playing games. As these people, I see in my mind, this dude is sucker. CO's a sucker. But the CO go home every day at 3 o'clock. The next one go home at 11 o'clock. Next two go home at 7 o'clock. And I'm still here. So I finally realized that this isn't what I wanted. So I wrote my OG, Dom, was like, yo, we'll do something different. I'm going to go home and go to Harvard University. I'm going to study. I'm going to get out. First, I wanted to be free. Then I realized free doesn't work. So anybody who's out there telling me, I want to be free. Let me tell you what free is for anybody coming out the penitentiary. It's the parking lot. Once you step foot in the parking lot, you've achieved your goal of freedom. And they say, what am I going to do now? I don't have a plan for anything beyond freedom. So you can't stay in the parking lot. So you go back to the hood and you do what you used to do. So I said, I don't want to be free because free doesn't work. I want to be successful because successful people don't come here. So I came home, I started going to school in jail, taught myself the law. You know what I'm saying? Dudes like, yo, how does do guys? Yeah, this is real simple. I pick up my phone and I go, Andre Norman, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And my case comes up. This is real basic. Then you can read it. But yo, people just be on some stupid stuff. So then you can go down and it says right here, boom, 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 boom. I'm getting old on you. Drop my glasses. For the reasons discussed, we hold that the prosecution against Norman in Superior Court was barred against the prohibition of double jeopardy. The judgment against him on the charge of armed robbery is reversed. The verdict is set aside. The indictment is to be dismissed. So ordered. Commonwealth of Massachusetts versus Andre Norman. That's how I came home.
So I weren't supposed to come home for God knows how long, but you got in there and started working.
I stopped running the yard. See, I used to run around the place. I never try to run out.
Mm.
I was great at running around the building. I was horrible at trying to run out of the building. Never tried. So when I started going to law library, I had to go to school, learn how to read. This is the thing I tell people. It wasn't just learn how to read, because I could basically read. My comprehension was shot. See, people don't understand between reading and comprehending. My comprehension was trash. So when I went to school, I said, I need help with my comprehension, not just my reading. Because I can look at the words and know what they say, but it's not staying in here. Why isn't it staying? Because I was never taught how to retain and comprehend information. Teachers spent time on comprehension more so than just reading. It's a different skill set. So I learned how to read, learned how to comprehend. Then I went to the law library. I learned how to shepherdize, how to splice cases, how to write motions. You know what I'm saying? And then I filed my appeal and I won. And when I got my appeal, I couldn't go home right away because I picked up 2 cases while I was inside. I had to walk those down first.
Could have been, had you knew, well, you was meant to go through every stage that you was meant to go through to have the story that you got now.
Because my appellate issue was there day one. I could have filed my appeal. I walked into prison on Monday. I started my appeal on Tuesday. I submitted on Friday. I'd have went home in 6 months instead of 14 years.
It wasn't meant. You had to go through to get this self-development that you got. So
yeah, I get that, but if you told me again, if I went back, if you restarted this, I'd have filed my appeal day one. And the appellate issue was clear. It wasn't no change the law. My appellate issue was so clear that it just didn't happen. And in my case, if you heard what I said, my case was brought against the prohibition of double jeopardy, meaning my trial should have never happened, meaning I should never been convicted, meaning I should never went to prison. You don't hear me talk about that. I was wrongly convicted and overly no, because I did it. It was just double jeopardy.
Yes.
So it wasn't that I didn't do it. They didn't have right to try me in superior court because I've already been tried in district court. You know what I'm saying? So I did it and I just didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? So I should never went to jail technically. So the 14, this is the thing. Had I won that at trial, I'd have went to jail for something else.
That's the reason why I said going back and changing things. Don't look. You would have messed up somewhere else.
Oh, dude, I wasn't changing my life. See, beating the case wasn't changing my lifestyle. And when I got kidnapped and taken to that program, I call it kidnap. Had I not gotten kidnapped and taken to that program, I wouldn't have had my epiphany. Because I'd have still been in Supermax doing Supermax thinking.
Running around.
I was in Supermax lockdown. So that's all day battles. I mean, you battle the dude upstairs does something, everybody get beat. Dude down here, it's just all day wildness. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So you're in that mind frame of constant battle. When they moved me to the step down program, even though I didn't want to be there, it was calm. It was easy. Like in Max, you eat in your cell. In the step down program, they got a little chow hall at the end of the hallway. So you come out of the cell because they're trying to get you ready for population. You've been in the cell for 5 years by yourself. Can't just drop that man in the chow hall. So they have you go out to rec about 10 or 15 at a time versus in a dog kennel. You get to go to school. You get to move around without handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Because you're in the cell 4 or 5 years. Every time your door open, you waist chains and handcuffs. Every time you move, it's just all this. You eat in your cell, you shower in handcuffs, all this stupid shit. So this step down program helped you prepare to be in Pops. But I wasn't worried about that part. It helped me prepare to relax my mind. I'm not at war every day. Nobody's coming to my cell at 2 o'clock in the morning spraying mace.
So now you done came through the step down program. You done got back in the population. You are working on you mentally. What did you do anything to make change in prison to help others?
No. Listen, mental health counseling and therapy was my primary reason I was able to change. There was nothing wrong with me. It was just wrong with the way I saw me and I saw the world. So I am not a different person. They didn't drop me in a bag of water or some vat of oil. You know what I'm saying? This is the same dude that would come in your house and stick a gun in your face. I'm the same dude that would talk your girl out the club and leave you sitting there looking goofy. You know, I'm the same dude that used to carjack people. I'm the same dude that had no remorse, no mercy, no brakes, all gas. That's all I know. That's what I am. I'm the same dude could outthink you and find a way to, outmaneuver you for whatever the hustle was. That's me. I'm the same dude could manipulate staff, manipulate people. I'm the same dude used to lead dudes into charges, into battles. I'm the same guy. The difference between me now and me then is counseling and education. Somebody showed me how to take exactly what I do and reposition it in another space. I do the same thing. I go into prisons now. I just came back from South Africa. I was just in Tennessee. I'm in Massachusetts. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Texas. I'm all over. I'm all over the world, going into prisons, having the same conversations, trying to get people to do the same things before, just with a positive outcome.
What a transition.
And listen, I'll just walk. I was just up in I'm going to Greenhaven prison next week. I'm going to Sing Sing. I'm going down to Florida to Jasper. I just came from Texas. I still go into prison. See, a lot of dudes went to prison and had bad experiences.
I didn't.
I didn't have a bad experience. My bad experience was I was there.
The body couldn't get free. That was the only thing. I wasn't trying to get free.
I wasn't even trying to get free at first. My bad because I got luckily, and I say this luckily, I got off the bus and I was with them. So they protected me, shielded me, trained me, taught me, walked me through everything I needed to know to get to where I needed to get to. So that first transition with that team that I was on gave me way more grace. And it's like you wake up, you have a kid tomorrow, and the president's your grandfather. You're good.
You're like grand.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates' kid has a kid. He's good. He don't even know it yet, but he's good. So I walked into a situation where I was just good. For the penitentiary, I couldn't get it any better. I couldn't ask for a better family to be a part of than the family I was part of.
So in your transition, after the therapy, after all this, how did you, I guess you could say, how did you help others in that after you transition? Because you can't help nobody else till you help yourself.
The way I help people is set a different example. People looked up to me, they followed me, they respected me, they knew my name, whatever the scenario was. I mean, I'm nobody's overlord, but I've been around long enough, been through enough where people know who I am, staff and inmates. So before I'm on the yard, before I'm in the gym, before I'm trying to find a way to get my hustle on. Now I'm in school. Now I'm in programs. I went to an anger management program. When I walked in day one, they said, Dre, it's a 6-month program. Homies pulled me aside. This is how we play it here. You answer one question in the morning. You answer one question in the afternoon. You are program compliant. They'll give you a certificate. You take it to the pro board. You go home. I said, so what do I do the rest of the time? We're in this room 7 hours. He said, we just sit here. So I don't get it. He said, you answer one in the morning, one in the afternoon. You're program compliant. They can't do nothing about it. At the end of the 6 months, they're going to give you a certificate and say you graduated. You show it to the pro board. You go home. I said, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. You want me to sit in this room for 6 months and do nothing? How am I going to get better? They said, you're going to get free. You're not going to get better, but you get free. I said, free don't work. I want to be successful. To be successful, you got to do the work. So in this program, where for years, not for months, but from the time it started, this was a setup. Nobody got better in this program. You just got a certificate and you went home.
You got free.
You got free. You didn't get better. You just got free. So when I went in there, the lady who ran the program, she's used to it. That's her job, to come in and be bored all day. She knows what's going on. It ain't no secret. She gets a check and we sit there. So when I came in the first day of class, she did her thing, and she's gone through probably like 50 classes before me. So I'm in this class and she says, okay, boom, I raised my hand, asked a question. That's my one for the morning. And I raised my hand again. She was like, yeah, I already did your one. And I raised my hand again. She's like, what is he doing? Then I turned, I said, yo, Carlos, what do you think about what she just said? Now, because of who I am, you're going to participate. Because this ain't about her. Now it's about me and you. You're going to be disrespectful to me. So I said, yo, Carlos, what do you think about that? And before long, we were the only group in the history of this program that actively participated. And for the whole 6 months, we actually participated. We learned this stuff. And to the lady's credit, she was happy to be able to teach us. She always wanted to teach us, but she can't make us participate.
She
But
didn't
when
know how to
she
get
couldn't,
people.
no, she don't know how. We weren't. She didn't have the authority to make us participate. Nothing
You
she could have done.
you
I
came
came
in and
in.
changed everything.
I changed it about 2 months into the program. They literally went to the CO at the office and said, "We want to hire Andre Norman to work for the program." And, and the CO told them, "You can't hire an inmate." They wanted to put me on their staff because I had the ability to make people participate, which had never, to their credit, to some extent, some of them wanted to teach us, but we wouldn't go for it because it was about the certificate. When I came in, when people were actually enjoying and sharing and growing and crying and getting stuff out, that's what the lady was trained to do. So she went upstairs like, yo, it's going down. And then it's that dude right there is making it happen. So they wanted me in all the classes. So even though I graduated after 6 months, they kept me in the program as a mentor for like 2.5 years.
This was like, I ain't gonna say this was the start, but this was a start of what you're doing now.
No. That program that I was in is called CRA, company called Spectrum. And when I came home, it was probably like 2018, South Carolina had a riot and 7 people died. They brought me in to set up a program. I set up them the exact same program that I was in with CRA.
Because you already knew it.
I knew
You did it for
CRA had a
2.5
program.
years.
There was I knew the differences, how to fix the gaps on their program to make it more effective. They drafted it, but they didn't understand it from my perspective. I added some internal perspective to their program, and I took that same program and the philosophies they had to South Carolina, taking it all over the country, all over the world. But I got my program diagnostics there.
So when they shared with you that you was gonna leave, when you actually won your case, well, no, because you still had years to because of the other cases, you still had time to do. When your time was finally up and you was about to leave, what was the psychological standpoint that you had then? Because
I was
now
scared.
you're
No, I'm scared. The same way I came in scared. Listen, you fear the unknown. When I came in, I knew nothing, and I was scared. The difference with going home was there was no them to go to. It was just me. When I came in, I had them. Dominic, 7-footer, you know what I'm saying? Big Lou, you know what I'm saying? I go down the list, you know what I'm saying? J-Dub. I had them.
yeah, 20 people.
I had 20 people, them. When I
Now
went
you
home,
poured out.
it's just me. So the crazy part, in the morning is how you get released. Everybody comes out on the yard. About 8:30, the loudspeaker comes on. Carlos Walker report to the gate. And they start calling the people. People walk you to the gate, dap you up, salute you, watch you walk out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And when they start calling them names on the loudspeaker, white, black, Spanish, Hispanic, Asian, everybody, while they're announcing those 10 names or 15 names, the entire yard is on one page. It used to be one wishing well for that person. Might have been your biggest enemy, your biggest hater.
Well.
But for that moment, when they're reading them names, you're like, man, I hope they make it. Then as soon as you walk out the gate, everybody rushes to the TV at 6 o'clock to see who got arrested on the news. That's the reason why we watch the news to see who got arrested. 6 and 11 o'clock. Who's coming back? But when they called my name, they didn't call me at 8:30 because I'd been an asshole for many years. They made me go out on the next count. So at 10 o'clock after lunch, they had lunch. They called lunch. After lunch count, they called me. I'm the only one leaving at after lunch count. Everybody goes after breakfast count. So I leave my unit and I'm walking down the walkway. And I'm looking at the buildings, and I can see dudes in the window because in Norfolk, everybody eats inside their own building. So I'm seeing dudes sell windows. I'm seeing dudes in the hallway in the window, and I'm like crying because this is where I grew up.
Yeah,
These are the dudes I grew up with. And I'm seeing some dudes who are doing natural. They ain't coming home. And this is the last time I'm gonna see you. I'm looking at you in the window. We just did 10 years together. We just did 3.5 in seg together.
These are your peers, your real peers.
This is my community. So as I'm walking out, it touched me that I'm not gonna see these dudes no more. So I'm sad for leaving them, and I'm scared for where I'm going. So I'm halfway crying, walking on the walkway, and I get outside, and it's like, damn, I'm outside. But I had a goal. You know what I'm saying, and that goal had to kick in.
Success.
I'm gonna be successful. I'm going to Harvard. I got on my grind day 1, not day 15, day 30. I walked out of that prison, went straight to the parole office, signed the paperwork, left the parole office, went to a juvenile center. 90 minutes after I got out of prison, I'm sitting in the juvenile center talking to kids about how they can be successful. And that was November 15th, 1999. And it was January 20th, 21st, 2025. I was sitting in college in South Africa, Johannesburg, teaching. I've been teaching from November 15th, 1999. My last class was this past Tuesday in Johannesburg. I haven't stopped teaching a day since I've been home. And today's Friday. What's today? Today's Friday, the 24th.
24th,
And
yeah.
the 27th, I'll be in prison in Florida. The 29th, I'll be at Rikers Island. The 30th, I'm going to be at Sing Sing. The 31st, I'm going to be at Greenhaven. I ain't done. I got 4 prisons lined up for next week.
One of the reasons why this is so big for me to hear you say these things is because of the fact this is one of the things that I'm working to do, is to get back in prisons and share. I did 50, I think this is the 55th interview I've done. I'm looking to see how I can get them into prisons. I want to go back and do the same thing that you're doing, because I understand we are success. And to change the mindset of those who don't know that they can be successful, they have to see success. They have to know that success exists. And all of the interviews that I've done, I've watched countless successful people with stories that are triumphant. And Jordan, there would be no Kobe Bryant had Jordan not been who he was. There would not be a lot of those athletes, because they looked at Jordan with who he was and said, man, I want to be that. And what happened? Kobe messed around and took everything that you seen Jordan and he made it better. We have the ability to be Jordan in a lot of those people who are in prison's eyes and impact them so much that they come out and be better than what we are doing now.
Oh, I missed it. Our interview was an hour late because I was on a virtual workshop. I'm so used to talking about being in the prison. I did a virtual workshop for a drug rehab this morning, and I'm from Ohio. So I'm like, no, it's not last Tuesday. I'm today. Right before we get hours, I'm coming back. I'm thinking this virtual world is all new to me. I do it, but I don't register it. I just did that's why I'm an hour late. I did an hour interview, an hour training for like 15 people in the drug treatment center in Ohio.
Look, thank you for doing everything you do. Now, what I want you to do real quick is share with the last 25 years of teaching or what you do, because you have impacted a lot of lives. Share that.
I need people to understand what's feasible and what's possible. And it starts with your thinking. If you don't think you can, and therefore you won't. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So I run around prisons and do all that goofy stuff. And I was this guy, that guy. And I thought it was something cool. I want you to see this. Can you see this?
It says you can see it, but you can't see. You can't really see it. Greetings, Andre Norman. But Pentagon request, Pentagon visits request from October 23rd, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. to October 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. approved.
Whose name is that?
Andre J. Norman.
And you know what building that is? The most secure building on planet Earth. I went from being in the most secure lockup
to the most secure
building, for being locked in a cell and hid, to being invited and sat down. So the Pentagon called me and said, we need you to come teach. Harvard Law School, London Business School, Henley Business School in South Africa, Oxford in London. You know what I'm saying? I can list a million companies on down and down and down the line. They call me and say, come teach. And they're like, yo, we know you know. We want to learn from you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. You have that. I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I'm special. Look at me, you can do it too. That's my thing. And then like, well, anybody want to be around me? This is guy I was just with a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you should. Matter of fact, no, you didn't send that to me. Somebody else just sent me this same guy. He worth $7 billion.
Yeah, he's worth $7 billion. And after my presentation, he walked up to me and said, I like what you're doing. This man's worth $7 billion. He walks up to me and says, I like what you're doing. Let's connect. He has a financial literacy firm, you know what I'm saying, that he teaches finances. And he wants to connect to me to get it inside to the brothers and sisters. There's always somebody watching. The question is, what are they seeing? Are they seeing somebody who's selfish? Are they seeing somebody who's self-centered? They're seeing somebody who's BSing? They see someone who's really putting out the work. You know what I'm saying? Are they talking about themselves? Or are they talking about us? And everywhere I go, I talk about us. It's not about me. I'm good. How do we get good? And they're like, yo, he's a representative. Dude runs a $7 billion company, says, I need him on my team. The most secure building generals who run the free world says, we need his insight. And where did I get it? Walking in prison yard, sitting in solitary confinement, going through the mud. And y'all are going through the same things. You just have to understand what you know is valuable. You just have to find out how to transition it and reposition it so you can sell it. Somebody got rocks out of their yard and created a thing called Pet Rocks. And made $1 million off Pet Rocks. They said, man, I'm going to sell Pet Rocks. And it sold.
And it sold. They believed in it.
So it's not what you see, but how you see it. A lot of people have all the information that they need. They don't know how to bring it up and call it out and put it. They don't know what's in them, but it's in them. It's so in them. And they don't understand how the psychological brain and the neurons and the pathways and all this stuff, neutrons, spark, it works, bro. This shit works. We just discredited it because of where we lived. Our environment says you don't need to be smart. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to be articulate. You don't need to be fast-paced. You don't need to be thoughtful. You don't need none of that. Just survive. Get your hands up. Go get a pistol. Get a package. Pimp a chick. No. Past that. I want brothers to know this really works. This is from the kid that sat the dummy class. This is a kid who couldn't read. This is a kid whose comprehension was bad. This is a kid who was so happy to be with them. This guy used to get maced at 2 o'clock in the morning just for sleeping in a cell. You are what you believe you are. And I used to believe I was meant to be in prison in that role. And I was. And I did well at it. Then I said, I'm going to believe I can be something else.
You can go to Harvard.
Harvard Law School fellow.
Done it.
No, dude, that's so far in the past now. It's like, I don't even think about that no more. People imagine, I'm off that.
You done.
I'm teaching at the business school in South Africa now. I taught at London Business School. Now I'm teaching the business school in South Africa. I didn't took it home. I'd have been to South Africa. I'd have been to Kenya. I'd have been to Ethiopia. Been to Liberia. Been to Ghana. On our homeland. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been all throughout the Caribbean, Curacao, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Colombia, you know what I'm saying, Costa Rica, Panama. Listen, tú sabes, necesito trabajar todo el mundo. No solamente trabajar aquí con negros. Yo quiero ayudar a toda persona de trabajar para Dios. ¿Entendiste, mi hermano? This is no juego. Yo serio. Mi nombre es Andrés. Yo soy profesor para el negocio. Yo trabajar solo para Dios, para ayudar a toda persona en ese mundo. Come on, man. We can go do whatever. There's nothing stopping you from growing. There's nothing stopping you from learning. There's nothing stopping you from. It's just how you program your mind to do this. Andre, man, you did it. Man, you different. Nah, dude, listen. I'm the dude that'll knock your teeth out because you was late on the bill. Now, I don't do that. I ain't fighting with nobody.
You use this.
I ain't fighting with nobody. I'm fighting for people.
So before we go, I do need you to do something. Give me you ain't technically just done it, but I'm gonna ask for something else. Give me a word of wisdom that somebody from prison, out of prison, never been to prison, that they can get in transition with. You just done it, but I need something else.
My word of wisdom is stop waiting for everybody to agree to your success. Stop waiting for a committee of people to agree that you should be successful and blessed. So often we go to our friend group or our family group and say, can you approve this for me? But what you're not understanding is they've committed to living a lower life. They've committed to being miserable. They've committed to just getting by. And misery loves company. So when you say you want to break away, my biggest thing with all of my friends and family was we were all in this mud together. We were all dirty. I got out of the mud. I got up on the hill. I'm doing great. So now the thing is, if he can make it up there, what's my excuse for not making it? So no, the excuse for them not making it is I'm faking or I'm capping or I
Mm-hmm.
did some double dipping. Dude, somebody got mad at me to Andre's making money off his story. It's my story.
You're the
How
main
many
character of it.
it's dude, I don't sit here and talk about stabbing people, choking people, cases. How much blood and violence was in this article? I said, hey, I grew up in the hood. I went to prison. These are some lessons. This is how I transition. Now I'm teaching in different parts of the world strategy. This they say to me, Andre, businesses say, billion-dollar businesses say, how did you think of going to Harvard University from living where you were living in the basement of a prison? They said, can you teach my people that type of vision? He said, that is crazy creativity to even come up with the concept of going to Harvard from where you were sitting. He said, if I put you in a boardroom with all of the technology and great assistance, can you create something like that for my company? That's a hell of vision. He said, can you teach my people vision? Then they said, not only did you come up with the vision, which was phenomenal and unrealistic, then you did it. You went from the basement of a prison, Supermax, all the way through general population, out in society, through the hood, up the ranks and everything else, and your ass made it to Harvard. Can you teach my people discipline? Then it was like, yo, you must be able to communicate really well to go from where you were to where you are. Can you teach communication? Then there's a thing that people don't really get. There's getting in the room, then there's staying in the room.
Yes.
Can you teach people not how to get in the room, but how to stay in the room? It's a totally different thing. I don't get it, Dre. You met your girl. You sweet talked her, made a bunch of promises, called her 50 times, and y'all got together. Fast forward a couple years, now she's your wife. The shit you said at the bus stop ain't working no more. She need a whole nother thing than the lies you told at the bus stop. You showing up late, early with her car, whatever the scenario was, ain't working now. You're married with 3 kids. The shit you did before ain't work. Getting her is different than keeping her. Getting in the room is different than staying in the room. Getting in the room is the bullshit you said at the movies or at the mall, wherever you met her. You got a wife and 3 kids now. Keeping her is a whole, she has a different set of expectations and ain't slick talk. Ain't even sleeping no more. You know what I'm saying? Banging boots ain't even what's keeping her. Now you got to be in a whole nother space. So getting in the room and staying in the room. Now, last thing I want to say to people, because so many people come home and say, Dre, I want to do what you do. I want to help people. I want to do like you do. I want to do better than what you do. Fine. This is our last statement. Wisdom. There's helping people, which is a lot of people who are great at or can be great at. Then there's the business of helping people. You have to learn both sides. Helping people, we do. The business of helping people, most of us don't. I understand the economics or what it means to help somebody. The prison system is $50 billion to operate. $50 billion to operate the prison system. That's bare minimum, just government, not external private contractors. $50 billion. We're talking about running into the prison and saving somebody. Running to the count. Back in the days, my sisters, when they got old enough to go to college, they used to do chicken dinners and fish dinners to pay for them to go on a black college tour. And we raised all this money to send them on a whole bus full of black kids to get out of the city, go down south and see HBCUs. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing ever, because I'm raising money to send you a client. Because once they get to college, it's $30,000, $40,000 a year. So 4 times 40 is 160,000 times 10 kids. That's $1.6 million. Why am I selling chicken dinners to make you $1.6 million? So I go to colleges and I say, I got 10 people over here. That's $1.6 million for you. I got 100 people over here. That's $10.6 million for you. I can get them to come to your school. What's the cut? I'm not selling chicken dinners to nobody. I'm negotiating with the people who are going to benefit. The colleges will let you sell all the chicken dinners you want, raise all the bus money you want, go out there and run through the church and beg for change, and they're going to take that money and they're going to keep it.
They're going to keep it.
Because you're not having the right conversation. The business of helping people says, I don't sell chicken dinners. I go to the college and say, listen, these 100 kids are worth $30 million to you. If I get these 100 kids to come to you, that's $30 million to your business. What's my percentage cut for that? Because if I bring you work on the street, you're going to give me a cut. If I bring you some stolen goods on the street, you're going to bring me a cut. So I'm not asking the college for a cut. I can bring you 100 kids a year.
What you going to give me? So
you get what you get? You get what you ask for, nothing. You get what you ask for. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. Power. And when you understand the business of helping people, you will learn how to negotiate, write contracts, and network. So there's helping people, then there's the business of helping people. I want you to understand both because I do.
Appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate your time, for just giving me the opportunity to do this. It really means a lot. It means a lot to see you who have become who you have become, so then we can become who we are, because a lot of us are watching you.
No, I'm the same dude. Listen, if you run up on me tomorrow, Dre, I like your watch. Start swinging. I'm not dialing 911. I'm not in the dialing 911. I ain't got a whole bunch of faith in them. So we have to just have a discussion, and so be it. When I go outside, I still pay attention, because if I make a wrong move, I'm going to end up in somebody's trunk. I'm not getting in the trunk. One word of wisdom to all y'all. If they say get in the trunk, never get in the trunk. Tell them, shoot me right here. Let's go. You get in the trunk, it's a wrap. Never get in the trunk.
Same guy, different outlook or perspective in life.
Counseling education does wonders.
Look, so thank you. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Forward Progress, and that is Mr. Andrew Norman. Thank you.